Welcome to Discovering Grayslake, a podcast dedicated to the stories and people that make our town truly unique. Join us as we sit down with local business owners, community leaders, and everyday residents to hear their tales of triumph, struggle, and everything in between. From the little-known historical gems to current events shaping our community, we'll cover it, all in an engaging and informative way. I'm your host, David Wool, and together we'll discover the heart and soul of our town, one story at a time. Today's podcast is brought to you by the lovely folks at Keller Williams North Shore West at the Sinkmars Group. Motivated not by numbers, but by helping you feel at home in our community. Jody Sinkmars and her team are committed to serving Grayslake and its neighbors with the utmost care. Call Jody today at 847-767-7358 or visit the Sinkmars Group online at sinkmarsgroup.com to get started on the path for the home you love right now. This podcast is also brought to you by the Cashmore Financial Group. Financial advice for everyday people. Turn your financial stress into financial success. Call us today, 847-231-6150. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Discovering Grayslake. Once again, I'm downtown Grayslake, but today I'm with Myra Soto at Good American Barber Company. How are you?
Good. Excited.
I've been waiting so long to talk to you.
I know.
It's been a long time. So let's just start this way. I think that I might have been one of your first customers here.
Yes. So you remember the chaos, how bare it was here. The chairs were under construction. So yeah. You were here, one of the first ones.
So when did you actually move into this spot?
So we moved in May and officially opened July 11th of last year.
Wow.
I know.
So you've come a long way in a year.
Yes. It went from being by myself for 3 months to now almost fully staffed.
I know,
which
it's crazy.
Which is insane. The community has been so welcoming, so warm with us. And yeah, it's been such a good...
And you have a great spot.
Yeah, I think so. I love the location.
So if we were to describe where we're at, what's right next door?
I think the Blush Boutique.
Okay.
Paris Hair Design. And
You're right here in the thick of things.
Yeah, I am in the thick of it.
We look across the street, and actually one of our sponsors, Jody Sinkmars, her office is right across there too.
Cool.
So it's kind of nice like that. All right, so let's just go back, because I know that when we say we're at the barber shop, obviously everybody knows what a barber is.
Yes.
So through us talking, is it not weird, because I know that this is a thing. When I think of barber shop, I think most people have the stigma of like a man running it.
Yes.
Is that safe to say?
Yes, it is safe to say. I am a female. I know it could be considered the non-norm, but I feel like because I have such a passion for the barbering, I mean, I'm a nerd. I love the history of barbering. So, doesn't matter the gender as long as you're passionate about something.
Of course.
You know, you could definitely...
Hopefully you didn't hear me wrong. I didn't think that that's like
how
it should be.
No, but I get it. Yes, I've gotten that a lot. People walk in and they go to my male barber and assuming that's the owner. It's like, no, hey, hi, it's this little short Latina. Yes.
So when did you decide you wanted to be a barber? What led you to actually to here?
Dave. So I've always wanted to help people. I think that's just in my nature.
Yeah.
So I always assumed being a lawyer, for whatever reason, that was going to be how I help people.
Okay.
And so that was my dream for the longest since I was still in elementary school. Did college. Wasn't for me, really learned about what it meant to be, what did it take to be a lawyer, all the stuff they had to do, and it wasn't for me. My parents were super supportive, and they always told me to, have a plan B. So I don't know if people know, but Lake County, they have a technical school, and that's where I did my Cosmo, and then eventually transferred to barbering. I come from a family where it's mostly male-dominated, so a lot of cousins. I have 4 brothers, and I just remember beautiful memories of going to the barber shop, and I love that culture. the neighborhood type culture where everyone knows everyone. So that was, just an easy route for me to go, and I help people.
You do?
I do. So
you do.
Yeah, so I think the idea was always there. It's just,
And from first meeting you, I can totally tell that you have like entrepreneurial blood. Like, I couldn't see you sitting behind a desk somewhere doing something.
Yeah, my dad's side, he's has his own business. His brothers, they own their own business, and that was kind of always instilled in us kids to just go for your dream, be your own boss, and
it's a great thing to teach kids, and it's not the easiest road.
It's not. But I think because I have good role models in my family, that they definitely showed, that it's not easy, but it's possible.
Right. And well, nothing easy is worth it, right?
So right, exactly.
You gotta work hard to do stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do you land in Grayslake? Out of every place you could have a barbershop, how do you end up on Center Street in our little friendly town?
Right. So actually, I live here.
Good.
I've been living in Grayslake for, I think, about 4 years now. So I frequent the downtown area. I love our downtown. It's so cool. I feel like it's very unique compared to the other downtowns in Lake County. So just walking one day, I just saw this space, and it just called me. I could picture myself in here.
And it is a really cool place with the brick walls.
Yes.
It just has a really, really good feel to it.
It does. Fun fact, it was a funeral home originally. I don't know if you're familiar with Strang.
Of course.
Okay, so this is their very first location.
So this is Strang's very first location?
This is Strang's very first location, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's a funeral home, and I think that we may have had some cocktails one night and walked by here, and you told me there a fun fact about I'm pointing at the wall behind me.
So there are 2 chimneys, and the one that you're pointing to one of the chimneys. So above me is where the family lived, and now the new owners of the building converted into apartments above us. So one of their tenants was, I don't know, a pothead, I guess.
A pothead.
a big time pothead.
Okay.
I don't even know how it happened, but he had 20 pounds of weed.
20 pounds?
20 pounds. Can you believe that?
No, that's a lot of weed.
I know. It is.
This is why I do the podcast, folks, just so you know. I'm at a barbershop talking about 20 pounds of weed stuffed down a crematorium or something, right?
So somehow this guy, it falls like into the chimney. He calls the landlords. They couldn't believe, what the tenant was telling them. They check it out. They're like, no way in hell are we gonna, knock down brick and just to get your 20 pounds of weed. So yeah, I mean.
So there's 20 pounds of weed in there.
So there's 20 pounds of weed in there.
Okay, maybe we shouldn't be broadcasting the location.
So if this building ever goes up in smoke, we are all
the whole town
is gonna get really high.
That is too
yes.
Funny. So, but that really the chimneys that were out here were for crematorium purposes.
Yeah, and also for just to keep the space warm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So now we know a little history of the building.
Yes.
One of my friends that listens to the podcast always says, "Hey, try to find out like what was there beforehand." And it is totally true that being Strang's first location is a big thing for Grayslake because they're obviously been here forever.
And if you go to the Heritage Center, I believe you could still find like the original picture of this. But yeah.
You should get that and put it up in here.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
That would be cool.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Okay, there's so many things I want to talk to you about. So as I'm looking around the space, I don't know if people have been to like a modern barbershop these days, but the first day I came in, there's a fridge over here that has beer in it. There's some whiskey am I allowed to say this?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yes.
Yes.
So, but you have beverages, so people come in and just have a beer while they're waiting?
Yes, yeah. So like I said, growing up, going to barbershops and just remembering, it just, little things like that just kind of made people more welcoming.
Yeah.
So that's what I like to do. I want to help out as much as I can. I know there's a lot of chaos in this world, so if I could just have you kind of decompress, give you a beer, or if it's a kid, give you a juice, and then just have this be
It's a
a
hangout
little
space.
hangout space. Yeah. So yeah, we
And
do.
it kind of takes the edge off for me, not drinking, but coming in knowing that it's a space to relax.
Right,
It's just not
yeah.
come and get your hair cut and just run out.
No, I mean, like I said, we've had people come in here, run into each other, neighbors, friends, and it's a hangout.
See, and that's
Yeah.
great. And you say people when they have beer, sometimes they come in the next time and they like replace it and they bring stuff in.
Yeah, so I call it our community fridge because people will take, but also gift, and it's a really cool thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you have some nice booze up in front too.
I do. I'm spoiled. My clients spoil me. I have not paid for any of those bottles.
It's great.
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
It's great. So I was telling somebody that I was coming here today, and they were talking about getting their hair cut and other things. So because I want to cover this really quick, because
Yes.
I'd rather hear your story rather than
course.
the actual services that you offer. But you tell me more things like beard trimming.
Yes, so we do, your standard haircut, meaning we can go classical or we could do modern. We do any type of beard shaping, or if you want to just shave the beard off, we do straight razor shaves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like the best
Yes.
thing ever. Every guy listening is like, yeah, they know that feel of having a straight razor shave.
Right. We also offer more like detailed grooming. So what I mean by that is waxing, eyebrows, ears, nose hairs. We also, one of my barbers, Alyssa, offers this thing called gray blending. So it's kind of like a semi-permanent color that we're not going to color your hair jet black or anything crazy like that, but, just to kind of blend in the grays, make it more natural.
Wow.
Yeah, so.
Okay, and she's staring at my gray beard right now. I think it needs to be blended in with the rest of everything here. Do you do that too? Do people color their beards?
Not that often. No, I don't think we've had anybody
Okay, so I won't do that. So.
No, we like the gray on you, Dave.
I call it my wisdom beard.
Yes, you have a lot of wisdom.
Yeah, something like that. So most of the clients that come in here, what would you say like the age range is? Is it a younger group?
I would say.
Because it's kind of hip now for kids to go to like a barber.
Right. Yeah. So I would say more of like family dads. To like retirees and kind of in between. We're starting to get a lot more college students and high school students, which is really cool to see because, like I said, this is a place for everybody, and we stay current with, all types of haircuts for all like age range. So we get a little bit about like I love, my favorite thing is to see a dad coming in with their son and just having a dad.
That's
Fun
cool.
moment, yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, and especially all the kids these days. It's funny from my son and all their friends. Like, I'm like, this isn't good for business because they're all growing their hair out. Like, all these kids have long.
It's the fluffy. That's what they call it.
What do they call it?
Fluffy. The fluffy haircut.
Yep. I think COVID did that. That they were like, let their hair grow out, and then it was cool. My son didn't know he had curly hair until COVID because it grew out far enough, and then it started to curl, and now he doesn't cut it.
Oh, well, I guess he's embracing his own texture, his natural texture, so that's good.
He's embracing a lot of textures, that's for sure. Sorry, Max, but he doesn't listen anyway. So, another cool fun fact that when you walk in here that we came in the other time, and the barber chairs.
Yeah.
They're
like
crazy.
I said, I'm a nerd, Dave. I love, yeah.
So tell us all.
Okay.
This is crazy.
So they're all made in Chicago. They're over 100 years old. They're 3 different companies, and all Chicago companies. A lot of American barber anything originates in Chicago.
Really?
Yes.
Did not know that.
Yeah. So my mentor, my first boss, we still have such a great relationship till this day. He was the one who got me these chairs. And man, they were in rough shape.
Well, they look great now.
Rough shape, yeah. So they were built to last.
Where do you find something like that?
So, like I said, my mentor, he not only does he have his own business, but he also kind of geeks out like me and collects collects a lot of my antiques. So his wife kind of pushed him to sell. So now he collects and sells a lot of barber antiques, and he goes around the Midwest and picks up some of them are family heirlooms, some of them he finds them in barns, some of them he finds them in barbershops that have been around for ages and are closing. So yeah.
See, that's crazy. I always look at this world and I meet people and you go, there's a guy that actually collects all this stuff.
Yeah,
Like that's his
well,
passion.
right. Some things you know they were made to last, and you want to restore it and just kind of keep it going. I mean, you could see how intricate they are. They're so intricate. Things.
It's amazing.
Yeah, we don't make things like this anymore.
No, it's a shame too. Okay, so why good American Barber? Because every time I try to find your phone number and I Google you, I want to put great because I think you're great. So
Thank you.
The name.
So I am first generation. My parents are from Mexico. So them coming over here from Mexico, as well as like the rest of my family. There's always talks at parties or at the dinner table, like, what is the American dream? So hearing it at a young age, it just seemed very like cookie cutter. It just sounded like it was the same like message. And I always admire entrepreneurs, especially those that are immigrants, coming from a different country and with nothing and making nothing out of something. So I kind of wanted to take back that good American, what it is, and not make it so cookie cutter and make it more as of it's whatever your success, whatever you define as your success. So whether it be a blue collar job or a white collar job, doesn't matter. So I wanted to kind of emphasize on that and also kind of make a little America here in my own little barbershop.
Yeah.
Make it diverse and make it comfortable so anyone can come in and get an excellent service and just be treated good and fair. So that's kind of where it stemmed from. It's just kind of taking back that, what's the American dream and kind of flipping it and just it's whatever you want it to be.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I admire you for chasing that dream because I'm sure that a long time ago you didn't expect yourself sitting downtown Grayslake owning a barbershop.
No, but I have such great parents that they always kind of put a lot of confidence in making me feel like, I can do anything. So
They must be super proud of you right now.
yeah, I think so. I hope so. Yeah,
I'm sure that they are. No, because it's cool and it takes a lot. And I think that anyone who has never had a small business, and if you're listening and you've never, the sacrifices and the risk we take to open the doors here, and this is your dream, and we just cross our fingers and do our best and hope it works, right?
I guess, yeah.
And it's working?
It's working. It's great. Like I said, the community has been so warm and welcoming, to us. So I have no complaints. I'm just super blessed and humbled that, Grayslake is backing up Good American Barber Company and I'm just super blessed.
Yeah, and it's cool because I know that there's other barbershops around, but it's nice to have something in the heart of Grayslake here.
Yeah.
And it's very easy, and that's how I just saw you, that you opened your doors. The reason I came in was like, oh, cool new business. Before we were doing the podcast, I think we probably had conversations about that, for sitting down the first time and how cool the town is. And I remember you being very excited, especially with things like the farmers market going outside, to be a part of community.
Yeah, I do. I want to be, even before the business, I always try to be as much as part of the community as I can. So now that I have this platform, I just want to amplify it.
Okay, when you say amplify it, what do you mean?
So just giving back to the community. I love collaborating with organizations. I myself am in an organization called Women's United, which is a branch of United Way. So we just had a back-to-school fair event in Waukegan.
Nice.
And I was able to have my shop, myself and another barber, and then collaborating with another barbershop and giving, back-to-school haircuts. So we like that. We've also
That's an awesome thing to do.
Yeah. We've also collaborated with I'm so sorry if I butcher it, but Hope for Veterans.
Okay.
Or past. They're in Crystal Lake, so we've collaborated with them. So I like to give back to the community. So any way we can give back, we're always.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And it's fun to be in the position to do that.
Yes, yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I have this platform. I can really like amplify it and just really, you know, not only just help Grayslake, but just Lake County in general.
Yeah, and it is something to look up to, especially when I think the barbershop thing has kind of really come back, and it's kind of a cool thing. I've seen the TV shows out there about everything, and these kids, like, they really think it's cool. Like, you're a barber. Like,
Yeah.
it's a cool thing.
Yeah, it is cool. I mean, it's one of the oldest professions. I mean, it dates back to Egyptian time, and I mean, we're cheap therapists, but we're also members. But we're also a member of like the community. You know, we have a very unique platform, and I don't know.
It's cool because you get like one-on-one connection with everybody that you get to come in
that's
here.
The best.
And I get you hear some crazy shit too.
Oh my God, I have stories, Dave. I don't know if it's appropriate for the podcast, but I have stories.
I am sure of that. We're going to take a break here really quick, and we're going to go into the thing because I know that you're going to lie to me and say that you've listened to a podcast before, but you haven't listened to any of my podcasts.
I listened to your first one.
Oh, with Mike Pruitt?
Yes.
Okay, good. So we do a thing called the Grayslake Hot Seat.
Oh, God.
And this is brought to us by our friends at Barbecue Productions, who is actually our last guest on the show. So Chris over at Barbecue Productions, he sponsors this segment, and if you need great barbecue, make sure to go see Chris. He's got a bunch of locations. So shout out to Chris at Barbecue. So I'm going to ask you a couple questions. You're going to answer as fast as you can, and we'll go through here, and we're going to find a little bit more out about Myra. Okay, so hey bartender, can I have a
drink?
What kind?
Oh my God, mojito.
Oh, mojito. All right. What is your favorite movie?
Step Brothers.
Nice. Favorite sports team?
Oh, that's a tricky one. I'm gonna go Bears. My dad will be proud.
See, yeah, we're just appeasing Dad right
yeah,
now.
we're doing.
What's your highest score in bowling?
I don't bowl.
It's just a fun question. I love it. The last show that you binge watched?
Oh, I'm currently binging the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard one.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but then I had this podcast, so I can't. Really,
Sorry to cut into your time.
It's fine.
Are you an early bird or a night owl?
Early bird.
What's your go-to karaoke song?
I don't sing.
She doesn't sing. She doesn't bowl. Oh, whatever. How about this? She acts like she's shy. Have you ever won an award?
In my head.
Honesty is the best policy. Pool or ocean?
Oh, ocean.
How many times do you exercise per week?
Oh boy, at least like every other day.
Okay. Favorite candy?
Dark chocolate.
What are you most afraid of?
Oh my God, we're getting deep.
I know. Well, it wasn't supposed to be when I wrote it. Then I went, whoa, yeah, it is.
Hurting people.
Okay. Emotionally, physically,
I don't know.
just in
I guess
general.
all around.
Well, just don't do it then, Myra.
Just don't
do it. Does your car have a nickname?
Yes. Baby.
Okay, I was going to say yes, and it is. How many times do you text per day?
Ever since I owned a business, too much.
I know, isn't it crazy?
Yeah.
What do you put on your pizza?
Oh gosh, I'm a wings girl.
Oh.
So yeah.
So if you want to hang out with Myra, you can't see. We're not going to
You
sing
can order
karaoke
pizza.
at a bowling place and having pizza. Is what you're trying to say.
I mean, you could have pizza, not like take a nibble.
Okay. The last thing you purchased on Amazon?
Oh, for the sound system at the barbershop. It's always business related.
Yeah, I know a guy that could probably help you with that. Yeah, that's kind of good with audio. We'll end with this one. I would never do blank again.
Doubt myself.
Wow. Okay, I thought, you said I was getting deep on other things, but that's awesome. Good, and you shouldn't doubt yourself.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, so thanks to Chris at Barbecue Productions and the whole staff over there for bringing us the Grayslake Hot Seat. We appreciate it. And a big shout out to our other sponsors as well. Randy Cashmore at Cashmore Financial, him and Zach over there, and also lovely Jody Sinkmar's group across the street here. So we appreciate them, and this would not be possible without them. Okay. I want to go a different direction here. So you and I have had conversations because I'm shooting a documentary movie.
Yes.
And we got into a conversation,
Oh.
and then your eyes lit up, and then you started talking. So tell me what you're working on.
Okay. So I am starting a collective, a group. It's called Female Barber Collective. And the whole message or the whole idea of it is pretty much to bring women barbers together to not only network, but, also as support and just to, really uplift one another and just make what's already an awesome, industry even more awesome.
That's cool. How does one start a women's barber collective? Like, where do you put an ad on Facebook? Do these people come to you? How does that work?
So, to pretty much kick off this movement group, organization, whatever you want to call it, I am making a documentary. So, yes, Dave, I am also. That's
great. And I'm going to tell you that you're out of your mind crazy at the same time.
I know, but it's fun. So, it is pretty much, we're doing kind of like 3 seasons, and within that season there's going to be like 3 series, so like maybe 3 episodes, 2 to 3.
Okay.
So as I came up with this idea, I thought, I have to go back to my roots and reach out to the women barbers out here in Lake County, and then just kind of branch off from there, because there's women barbers all over the world. So that's kind of the idea, is to really make this into a worldwide thing. So awesome. What I do is pretty much get, these women, it's one barber per episode, and just have them speak their truth, talk about their story, And I don't want it to be like a woman, or a man hater club. That's not what it is at all. It's
right.
Just having these women just tell their story, because there's some really good stories out there.
I bet.
So it's a male-dominated industry, and I think that, we need to hear the women's side. And
for sure.
See their point of view, their perspective. So that's really all it is.
Why do you think you're on this show right now?
So that's all it is. It's just hearing the perspective of a female who's in a male-dominated industry.
So do you have an episode shot yet?
Yes. So it's shot, and now we're going to move on to another second episode, and then kind of I still haven't figured out how I want to launch it. If I want to do just release the whole collection, or do it, series, 1 episode at a time. We're still trying to figure that out.
Do you know where you're going to release it?
YouTube.
So it's going to be like a YouTube
I think we're
series.
going to start off YouTube, yeah, and
Great
then
idea.
probably move to create a website and just kind of release them there.
And believe it or not, a lot of shows start off on YouTube, and then they get picked up because there's an obvious interest in it. The more views and everything that you get, and people, and hopefully just the right person sees that, and then that phone will ring like it did, and it'll be like, Myra, this is so and so from Netflix, and we want to do a women's barbershop series.
Yeah.
Wow. So how do you pick these girls? Like, do you know the first one? Is it someone that you know?
It is. So once I figured out, okay, I'm gonna do it in Lake County, I started reaching out to all the barbershops, seeing if they had any women barbers in their barbershop. Then I went on people's like social media and reaching out to them that way. Long story short, I got a lot of left on red, or just no interest in it. And this woman, which now we are like the bestest of, like we're great friends now. Like, it's awesome. Didn't have a social media, was very conservative on giving out her phone number. Shout out to Wolves. They were the ones who connected us. She had one of the owners was like, okay, just give me your pitch. I'll let her know. And if she likes the idea, then I'll give you her number.
Wow.
She liked the idea. We texted. Had a lot of similar interests within the industry, a lot of thoughts, a lot of ideas, and just her story I thought was amazing. So we met, we clicked. It was just a great connection. Shot the video, and yeah, she's just
wow.
Yeah.
See, I find that very interesting because people that probably are very active on social media, you probably were drawn to them first going, wow, these guys will have a good story, or they're good on camera, or they're this. But then the quiet one
yeah, I mean, I didn't even know that Wolves had a woman barber, and just how it all like went down. Yeah, it was just like, it was meant to be. It was meant to be, yeah.
And you know what? That's what we always call the thin threads.
Yeah.
It's like you just happen to run into that.
Yeah.
Okay, so are you shooting it? Do you have a partner in crime on this?
I do. I have a partner in crime. His name is Guillermo. He is a local videographer. We've already worked together. He made kind of like a little promo video here.
Cool.
And from talking and doing business, we're very like-minded, and just my idea really interested him, and I don't know, we just click. So yeah, I'm working with a local guy, and that's
great.
Yeah.
Okay, so this idea, obviously, with having the women's collective and then doing the documentary style, kind of all goes together, right?
Yeah.
And I would think after you get some of these episodes done that your women's collective will grow like crazy, right?
Yes, I have confidence that it will. I think that it's just women want to really connect with other women, and especially when they're in a male-dominated industry.
So I wasn't totally off base when I started this podcast and said, first of all, I thought I offended you, and now I'm like, no. I feel better now. I feel much better. So it's cool. So what behind that, I always say, like, well, what's your end game in doing that? So when you start doing it, is it just do it as a passion project, or do you want to have this? What is is it delivering the message?
It's a passion project. It's me being a vessel for these women to, put their story out there. Their perspective. People, we come different shapes and colors and, perspectives. So I think it's extremely important to do that. And this is the industry that I love and I'm very passionate about. So I would like to do that. And
you should see the look on her face, folks, when she talks like this, because you do have a passion for this. That is for sure. So when can we expect to see? Is there an episode of yours on YouTube right now?
No, not yet.
Okay, I was all excited. I was like, we can debut it. We can tell everybody to go watch it.
I am my own worst critic. I'm very critical when I work on something. I want to make sure that it's perfect and just polished and just beautiful and amazing, and so yeah.
And just so from experience, it's never going to be perfect. It'll never be done. You can work on the same thing forever, and you'll never be happy until then you just have to let go and just let go. Put it out there. I know. It's crazy though. So are we talking soon? Are we talking?
Hopefully soon. Definitely by the end of the year for sure. Okay.
And when it launches, you have to tell me because we're going to post it on here, and then we're going to try to get people to see what they. All right, so when you put something out like that, this is another thing with starting your own business, with making a documentary where you're going to put this up for the world to see. You're taking a big chance.
Oh, I know.
Yes.
It's fun.
You think you're your worst critic. Wait till you have people that are in the barbershop industry or some angry old man who is going to disagree with what you're doing.
Dave, I think I'm hard on myself. That anyone else, it's like, oh, that's cute. Like, you said this about me. I've said worse things about myself, so that's fine. So to me, like I said, I'm cool with being the vessel. I'm cool with taking the hits. Mm-hmm. So these women feel the confidence, the comfort to like put their story, their perspective out there. So I'm okay. Take a jab at me.
You should see the confidence on her.
I can take it. I have 4 brothers. Like I could take a beating. It's fine.
And I'm sure when these things come out, people are going to be begging to be a part of this.
Yeah, and I'm excited to work with them.
Yeah, right. So right now you're focusing. Is it just Lake County for your start?
Yes, and. Memo, my videographer, he's already thinking like, let's take it a notch like like, let's go to Milwaukee. Like, let's do Milwaukee, and then let's just kind of expand through there. So,
Right.
I don't know. Maybe next year we might do out of state and maybe out of the country. Who knows? But right now, I would like to kind of focus more on Lake County.
Yes. Okay. So are you going to have something on here? Is there going to be at least an episode on you?
Oh my.
I mean, come on. Isn't that the most obvious?
Yeah,
like,
I
this
know.
Is
I
it.
know. And we've talked about it, and I am so. I always say I want to be like Banksy. And I know that can't be, especially given like what I'm trying to do. But
Right.
I love to create, but I just don't want to be the center of attention.
You want to be behind the camera, not in front of it.
Yeah, right. I like to make everyone else look good, and I don't know.
See, I think an episode for the documentary on why you're doing it would be a great episode.
Yeah. That would be, yeah.
Maybe after you have 3 put together, and listen to me, like giving you advice. I'm sorry. No, I just think that would be really cool because the story behind the story is always the fun story to me.
I know. If Memo does hear this episode, he's going to be like, I told you so. Like, we need to get you on.
Yes, call me. We'll work on the side together. No, because I think it's great. And just the bringing such a cool thing to, like, even just the setting we're in. Because I'm sure that these other gals that have these shops are just, because it's community, right? And you get to be friends with everybody in here.
Yeah.
And just kind of spread that. I like what was your line? The cheap therapy?
Oh, yeah, we're cheap therapists. Yeah, we are.
All right, so now since we're on that subject, I'm going way off because it doesn't pertain to anything. Tell me the best story you've heard from somebody sitting down in your barber chair.
Oh, my God.
Craziest. How about the craziest one?
Okay, let me think. I'll try to keep it like semi...
As long as they're not allegedly murdered anybody in the crematorium room we're in or anything like that.
Oh, boy. I'll give you 2.
All right.
That way it'll kind of lump into one crazy one. And these are both when I lived in San Diego. So one guy, he was in the porn industry.
Okay.
Yes.
Was he getting a porn stash done at the same time? Sorry.
No.
The door was wide open for me.
A regular haircut. I can't remember. He lives somewhere in the Midwest. I don't know. And they would fly him out to San Diego and they would film him.
Right.
I guess there's not a lot of gay or like just gay porn stars, so they pay very well, I guess, because he was a straight man doing gay porn, getting flown from like Idaho, Iowa, I don't know, one of the eyes.
Wow.
And he would tell me like his stories about what it was a day in the life of a gay porn star who wasn't gay.
Right.
So that was a very interesting, really cool guy. Typical Midwestern boy, very maybe not typical.
Hey, you never know. It's 2020.
Not typical in the sense of like what his job, but just like mild-mannered guy, very sweet, and you would have never known. He just looked like an average Joe, but yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, when
he had a girlfriend and everything, yeah,
really?
and she knew.
I'm just giggling over here because when somebody saw this morning and turned on the podcast with the Good American Barber, and then I heard gay porn star, like I didn't think I was gonna hear those words today when I walked in here. All right, so you said you have 2. So is that the end of his story?
So that's the end of his story. It's a barber shop. We work on the weekends. Sometimes our clients party a little too hard the night prior and think that they can make their morning appointment at the barber shop. So this wasn't my client. This was at the time, my boss, his client. It was a Saturday morning, super busy. We're just working, and I don't know why, but I started kind of just staring off towards like the direction of my boss and his client, and I noticed his client just kind of like grabbing the cape and kind of like stretching it out, as if it was choking him, and he kind of looked a little clammy, and I'm like, oh boy, okay, what's going on here? I don't think my boss at the time noticed that his guy was kind of
gonna lose it,
yeah.
Right.
So all of a sudden, mid haircut, gets up starts walking forward and then takes a right and heads towards, I don't know why my boss had like a trunk, I don't know, a piece of furniture.
Right.
And the guy just like a tree, I mean, this was a tall guy, just falls over. And my old boss, the old barbershop I worked at, also had cement floors.
Oh no.
So this guy almost hits like that trunk, the piece of furniture, and just passes out on us. And we're all freaking out. We're like, what the hell's going on? He gets up, he sits, he kind of like props himself up, and he's like, what just happened? What's going on? He's like, I went out last night. I was in Tijuana. Oh, and mind you, this guy worked for, I can't say who, but he worked for someone in politics. Yeah. So he was very adamant about not calling the cops.
Oh, okay.
He's like, call my brother, call my brother, call my brother. It's fine. Just please don't call the cops. Like, I'm fine. I just, had a rager in Tijuana. It's fine. And we were just like, no, you're not fine. You're clearly probably still on something.
Right.
Like, you are so, you just don't look like you've been sleeping. And yeah. So we had such a scare from that. And
sure.
Yeah, I mean, he was notorious about talking, about the parties or the things he would do, and just we're like, meanwhile, he works for this pretty, important politician, and like, yeah. So we've heard,
Wow.
I've seen, yeah.
Yeah, I think that the whole, just being in the whole barbershop or beauty shops or anything, just to hear the people talking to their people about whether it's relationships or what they do for a living,
right.
And overhearing the other stories, you must get, just fly on the wall, get to hear all kinds of great fun
it's
stuff.
amazing. But then I also get to hear good stories,
Right.
like my clients when they have their first child or their promotion, or they just graduated from college or high school. Like, those are the good moments too. So I get to hear everything.
See, I get to come in here and get my haircut and tell her about where I'm traveling to next.
Yes.
Or if I'm going on a hot date or something. I gotta look semi-presentable as good as I can anyway. But yeah, so you get to, especially if you have people for a long time, you probably get to know a lot about their lives.
Yeah. It's a very unique experience that I think a lot of professions maybe can't understand or won't ever really have that type of connection with a stranger. I mean, who pretty much, you guys are strangers. You sit in my chair for half an hour and we have sometimes deep conversations.
Right. It's like the safe place.
Yeah, it's like a safe place. And how often do you connect with someone for half an hour? We just don't do that anymore.
What is it about a barbershop? Is it like a truth serum or something?
I don't know. I don't know. I think maybe because we kind of put I don't know if we just kind of put you so you're not looking at the mirror and you're
right.
not making that eye contact. Maybe it's the eye contact. I'm not really sure, but something about just sitting at a barbershop, you just feel like.
See, now we're gonna have to write a book on the psychology behind the barbershop chair. Maybe these are magic chairs that you have too.
Maybe they're magic chairs. Yeah, I mean they're old. There's probably lots of magic in it still. Yeah.
I'm sure. And how many people's hair have gotten cut in one of these chairs?
And they're from Chicago, so maybe mobsters.
I would bet on it. I would bet on it.
Maybe.
What was your when you opened up here? What do you think your biggest challenge was? Were you worried that people aren't going to come in the door? Was it your staff getting the place ready? What do you think the biggest challenge for you was?
I think it was a little bit about the acceptance. Like you said, when people walk in, they assume that it's going to be a man who owns a barbershop. So little things like that.
See, I didn't think of it like that at all.
Oh no,
I didn't.
I
But then
know
I'm a little more,
yeah.
I'm a little goofier than the next person.
Yeah, but I think it's just, me being my own worst enemy, because it shouldn't matter. Little things like that, or if it was gonna be good enough, or to people, but what am I going to be able to? What I have in my head make it into reality. The fact that I wanted to be a neighborhood barbershop, the fact that I wanted to feel like everyone's in this little community and anyone can walk in and still get great service, no matter the type of profession or background or wherever you've been or whatever you've done, just get the respect and a good quality service. So I was a little scared that maybe that wasn't going to be able to translate, but I feel like
You've done a
got
great
the message
job
across.
with it.
Yeah.
And especially opening somewhere where there's a lot of places for men to get their hair cut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think what makes this unique, again, is it's the message. It's the message.
Right. And it's just a cool vibe.
Yeah.
It's a cool vibe. All right, so I met you almost on in the first couple of weeks that you were here, and you had nobody else no other barbers in the chairs, and now you're full staffed?
I have 2 chairs to fill, but yeah.
Two chairs to fill.
Yeah.
So when those chairs are full, what's next? Because at some point I'm looking at you and I can feel the vibe that you're going to constantly be pushing yourself to do more, to do better, to go to the next level.
Of course.
What happens when you're full in here and you're just rock and rolling and now it's just the everyday same thing?
I think I want to recreate this in a different location, wherever there's an opportunity. I think for me, I know it sounds crazy, but this is fun for me.
It's good.
This is fun for me. So, and especially because of what I'm trying to create. So I think that, the future is pretty much creating little good American barber companies in different locations.
So you would be interested in branching out and starting another one?
I think so, because not only do I want the community to feel good about coming in here, but I want the barbers that work here to feel good. I want it to be more of a collaborative thing than me being undermining someone or telling someone what to do.
Sure.
I really want to build up the barbers that work here and to be successful barbers, be successful business people.
Sure, so you could train one of the people here to be a manager at a new place.
Right.
Possibly.
Or just give them the tools where they can, create their own barbershop or create, if they want to open up a barber school or maybe be an educator, whatever their dream, their goals are, to give them the tools to be able to do that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about so you have 2 different communities. You have your client community that comes in, but then you also have your internal community of fellow barbers that work here together to make everything go around. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's
Because
really
without them, this wouldn't be possible. Without them backing up the message, this wouldn't be possible. If they didn't believe it, then this wasn't going to be, a success.
You get people on board with your business with the same passion and with the same goals, even if they end up, just learning from you and moving on. The whole vibe in here, it works.
Yeah.
It's great. Okay, so we're recording this actually on a Tuesday.
Yes.
So you're closed on Tuesdays.
Yes, that's the only day we're closed.
Only day you're closed. Tell me, if I know nothing about you, what social channels should I follow? Where can they find out more content about you? Things like that. I hate when I say things like that, folks. Somebody write in and tell me to stop saying that. So where would they follow you?
So our social media is at Good American Barber Co. We are on Instagram. That's where you can see a lot of our work and just little videos that we like to do. We also have our own website. It's goodamericanbarberco.com. That's where you could also see events that we attend, kind of like, giving back to the community. You get to see our promo video, anything to do with Good American Barber, you'll see at the website. I want to go see
the promo video.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Good.
Emma did a good job. You could also book us on the website. We also use an app called Booksy, Booksy. If you type in Good American Barber Co.
I've actually booked my last appointment on Booksy.
Oh, cool. Yeah, it's super easy.
And I was like, wait, I'm like old school. I want to call you. And I say, and I call and say, I want an appointment.
Yeah, we are
Booksy's
flexible.
Easy to use.
Yeah, Booksy is very easy to use.
Nice. Or just stop on by.
Yes, and just say
hello.
Hi and just stop in for a little shot of whiskey and just
You better
chat it
stock up
with me.
on some whiskey because I'm going to give everybody a challenge here. So if you're listening to this podcast and you're walking downtown Grayslake at any point and you haven't been in here to see Myra, I want you to open the door, just come in and say, hey, I listened to your podcast. Let's show her that you're actually listening. How about that? Is that good?
Yeah, that's great.
I think that's good. And if you're nice enough, she'll give you a shot of whiskey or something. Or if you just want to bring in something for the community refrigerator, that would be awesome too.
That would be awesome too.
And now that I look over on top of the refrigerator, what a cool, like, old school radio looking thing.
Yeah, so I'm an old soul. I love, I don't even want to say old things, but just things that were built to last and have a certain quirkiness. It's not an old radio.
It looks like an old one.
It looks like it.
Right.
It's a radio and also record player. I love records.
Nice.
So,
I see your records underneath there, too.
Yeah. So
Nice.
sometimes I'll have that on.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. So, hey, before we end, is there anything that you want people in Grayslake to know about you that I haven't talked to you about, anything that they need to know?
Oh, boy.
Besides book an appointment and come in.
Book an appointment. Book an appointment. No, just that, we're super happy to be here. We're very excited, and we're just super humbled that you guys really welcomed us with open arms. And, if you are female, male, doesn't matter. We are short haircut specialists. So we can work with any type of texture. And if you're not really looking to come in for a service, just come in and say hi.
Yeah.
Just hang out.
Yeah, just check out the vibe
we'll have
in
a
here.
Chat. Yeah, small talk.
It
it's
is
a lost
cool.
art.
It is. It must. And I'm sitting here thinking, like, when you're slower, just sitting here looking out at Center Street and watching people walk by. It's a good people watching place too.
Oh, it's great, especially at the farmers market.
I bet.
Oh, it's great people watching.
Do you count how many times I walk by per day?
No.
I don't walk by that often here.
No, not too bad.
But it's great. Well, hey, I really appreciate your time sitting down with me to talk, even though it took me so long to, like, rope her in. She's like the hardest working woman in show business here. And we're going to be looking forward to your videos coming out. We're going to let everybody know when that happens. I wish you the best of luck with that, too.
Thank you so much, Dave. Thank you for having me on.
Oh, my gosh.
Here.
Don't be too hard on yourself for these video stuff.
Okay,
Don't be
I
too
will
hard
try
on
not to.
Just put all your love, put all your
to.
passion in there, and just throw it out to the world.
No.
I think they're going to love it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And thank you, everybody, for listening to another episode of Discovering Grayslake. And I always say it, but not a lot of you are doing it. Make sure to hit the subscribe button, whether you're on Apple, whether you're on Spotify, whether you're on YouTube, wherever you happen to be listening to this. Make sure to go give Myra a follow as well. And you'll hear from me next Tuesday as well. Thank you again, Myra.